So Little Nightmares Altered Echoes, the upcoming VR title, just got a trailer, and not only does this look absolutely insane, but we also got the release date as well, and it turns out it's coming next month. Surprise, I guess. Now, I've got a few opinions about this. I want to just give my first impressions of this trailer, because this trailer is really good, and you want my honest opinion? I know this is going to upset people again. I think this looks way better than Little Nightmares 3. The tone of this is exactly what I look for in a Little Nightmares game. This is the kind of thing that I want to see when it comes to Little Nightmares content, and pretty much everything here has nailed it. The music is excellent. The environments look exactly what I would expect from a Little Nightmares game, not, you know, bright daylight. But yeah, it looks pretty great. Now, there's a bunch of stuff in here that I can go over. I'm probably going to do a full video on this tomorrow because it's currently 11:30 at night. Trailer dropped pretty late for me, so I'll do a proper video on this tomorrow because I actually think there's some really big hints here, if you know where to look. But this game looks really interesting. You're going to be playing as Shadow 6 by the looks of things. Now, Shadow 6 is one of the most interesting characters in the entire series. This was a character that was first introduced in Little Nightmares 1. She was hiding around in the background every time 6 ate. And then in Little Nightmares 2, in the secret ending, you could also see Shadow 6, who appeared out of the TV and then told 6 to go to the moor. So this is clearly a very important character to this series, despite not knowing much about her at all. I mean, she's one of the characters that I've theorized over a number of times. Lots of people have made theories about this character because she's just a shadow. Like, what is she? You know, who knows? So actually getting to play as this character leads me to believe that we're going to learn a little bit more about her. And it seems like, from a first glance, it seems like this game is going to be sort of like a jumbled mess of different places. Like, there's a lot of locations showed off here and they all seem to be random in a way. Like, we have locations that we visited before. You can see the school and you can see that the teacher is going to be returning as an enemy. You can see that we have the signal tower from the end of Little Nightmares 2, but then there are also new locations. There's going to be a train station, and there's going to be enemies on that train that we're going to have to avoid. We see guests returning. They look exactly like the guests from Little Nightmares 1, but we see these on the train. It makes sense. We know that the guests were found in other places. They weren't just on the moor. We know that they traveled to the moor on boat, and so they get around. But we can also see all of these new characters. We have these people that have no heads, just walking around. We have this guy who looks like one of those old-fashioned cameras where you would put your head underneath a sheet, except it looks like he's wearing his permanently. And we have this conductor-looking guy who's obviously going to be on the train. So it's a good mix of old locations and new ones, but I think this game is going to be something related to time. Now, this was something at the end of Little Nightmares 2. We found out that Little Nightmares 2 is essentially a time loop. So we know that physics in Little Nightmares don't necessarily work as they should in the real world, and time is one of those. And so this game looks like it is going to be messing around with time potentially. So it could be flashbacks, it could be some sort of alternate history. Altered Echoes might be a little hint there. It might just be a complete side game that has no relation to the story, or, as I hope, it could tie directly into the story. We might actually finally get an explanation for who Shadow 6 is, or at least a hint of who Shadow 6 is. But speaking of Little Nightmares 2, we also get a lot of callbacks to that game. You can see the signal tower is making a return. You can also see the TVs are going to make a return. We can also see little hints that we are going to see the Thin Man again. It definitely looks like the Thin Man is reaching through this TV. And we know that Mono is making a return in the overall Little Nightmares universe. There was a little hint to Mono in Little Nightmares 3, and we know that there is also a full story about Mono, which I haven't really looked into yet, but there is a full story of Mono that is being presented as this sort of cinematic universe of Little Nightmares, if you will. And so, knowing that the Thin Man is coming back, there is a chance that we might get some more hints to Mono and what he's been up to. But if this game is indeed using wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff as Little Nightmares 2 did, there's a good chance that this is going to intersect with some of the events that happened through Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Now, we don't really see any locations from Little Nightmares 1. Little Nightmares 1 was set on the moor. I don't know if we see the moor. We see a couple of scenes that could be the moor, but I don't know. But it looks more like this game's going to tie more into Little Nightmares 2, which again would make sense. That game was all about time loop. This game seems to be all about time. So I'm going to make a proper video on this tomorrow, don't worry. But unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this game because this game is VR and I don't have any VR. So I don't know if this game is going to have a flat mode. I really, really hope that it does. Please, developers, make a flat mode so that more people can play your game, because I hate to say it, but this game looks really good. This game looks exactly what I want from a Little Nightmares title, and unfortunately that I can't really say the same thing for Little Nightmares 3. As most of you know, I've already said this a dozen times, I just wasn't a huge fan of Little Nightmares 3. I think tonally, it didn't really nail the mark. I think the story wasn't quite as interesting, and the world just didn't feel like Little Nightmares. There wasn't any threat from most of the enemies, and I think it's safe to say from this game, the complete opposite is true. You can see these enemies are acting like you would expect enemies from Little Nightmares to act. They look like they want to destroy you or eat you or both, and that is what we should see in a game like this. So yeah, I think it's great. I really hope that I will actually be able to play it. I mean, I don't have the room. I don't have room for VR. I don't have room in here. So yeah, if there isn't a flat mode, maybe I'll just have to watch a playthrough or see if I can do something. But yeah, I think it looks really, really good. Like I said, I'm going to make a full video on this tomorrow. I'm glad because I actually have something to do tomorrow now. But yeah, very excited. I'm very excited to see some Little Nightmares content that I can actually be excited about and actually be happy about. And instead of being, you know, negative about it. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Did you like the look of this trailer? I think it looks fantastic. I think it looks really, really good. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.